Hey guys, my wife, Leanne Kreischer, is doing a live Wife of the Party at Zany's Comedy Club in Nashville. You will not want to miss this. Special guest to be announced. You can get your tickets for April 14th. Live Wife of the Party at NashComedyFest.com. Go out and support my old lady.
Oppenheimer I liked. Yep.
Yeah.
Barbie I was radicalized by. I hated it so much.
I didn't see it.
It's Andrew Tate for women. It's the plot is like men are stupid. Really? Okay, tell me more.
Tops Off World Tour, Columbia, South Carolina, Birmingham, Alabama, Clarksville, Tennessee, Louisville, Kentucky, Portland, Maine on the 25th, Uncasville, Connecticut, Reading, Pennsylvania, Fayetteville, North Carolina, Thackerville, May 16th, Tulsa, and ending in Austin, May 18th. Tops Off World Tour. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Ellen, dude, I'm telling you when I say this. First of all, the energy in this special is so different than any other special. You really show happy. Like
yeah.
Your energy it's such a great special. I mean, I'm like, as a person, I watch everyone's specials.
Yeah.
And that 23 minutes I texted you, I didn't think it would have been 23 minutes. I was like, 23 minutes, how far in are we? Because I time mine out from where people will go. That's the natural stopping point. Dude, it's so thick.
Thank you.
It's so many, it's every joke.
Yeah.
It's all the jokes anyone wanted to write. All of them. All the good ones.
Oh, about the
about everything. About everything. It's so fucking good that like I was sincerely blown away.
I moved one of the jokes. Did I ever tell you the Mulaney story where he said he had that joke about?
He has a great little fucking nod there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had a joke about why buy the cow. Remember that joke where he's like, everyone goes, why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? And he's like, well, because every time you bring a cow to another wedding, she's kind of like, when are you gonna? It's a fucking killer. And I go, are you closing with that? He goes, no, I'm putting it third because people turn Netflix specials off. So one of the jokes, I was just like, let's get the rape joke or like just jokes that are memorable. Make it so people are like, well, now I can't turn it off.
Yeah.
I don't know where some of them come in, but like, so yeah. And it was also,
I mean, at 23 minutes, you talk about Joe and Dave, and immediately I'm like, fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so fucking great.
And Ellen and Kevin Hart and which is, it's all true, by the way. The Ellen thing, I was like, what are they mad at her? I didn't even understand the charges.
I've been a ride or die for Ellen for a long time. And I think I got in trouble. I don't know if I get in trouble or not. It's not real trouble. It's just like people shitting on you in the comments. Like, that's what I always knew that about you, Bert.
Yeah.
And you're like, knew what?
Knew what?
Yeah. It's like,
you don't even know yourself.
Early on when the Ellen thing started happening, I was like, yeah, you guys, first of all, you forget how much it's the problem with this fucking world is that everything revolves around everyone else. And so the guy who's the third PA was like, she was a little not nice to me. And you're like, hey man, you don't know the fucking pressure she's under. She's carrying the show. She provides your paycheck because of her mood.
Yes.
Let her get through as seamless as possible.
Yes. It's like getting mad at a Formula One engine. That engine is hot. Yeah. It's a Formula One it's a jet engine in a car.
Do you remember when they went after Tom Cruise for the guy
for yelling at? Well, there's the one about times. Yelling at I've yelled at people for way less. I'm way less talented, and I'm way less important, and I'm somehow as entitled. It's like but I guess that I think the understanding from the audience is if they're making that much money and their lives are that much better than mine, they should appreciate it 24 hours a day, which is, I understand that impulse, but I don't think anyone appreciates anything 24 hours a day. So,
and you're not allowing nuance of like, I always think of how many people probably left shitty comments to Norm Macdonald, not realizing he knew he was dying.
Oh, got to be in the thousands. Got to be in the thousands.
He was getting canceled.
And here's the, let me back that up, Bert. They don't feel bad at all. All these great people who were telling Norm how to live, they didn't go, oh wait, that was fucked up. They just go, yeah, he fucking had it coming. That dead man. So So yeah, like the thing with Kevin, someone actually said, "Is Kevin Hart humble?" It's like, why do you expect Kevin Hart to be humble? Why would you ever think? What gave you that idea? His first stage name was Lil Kev the Bastard. Hey, is Lil Kev the Bastard humble? No, he sure isn't. Why does Ellen's hilarious, and also like went through a lot, getting kicked off of television for homophobia. Literally got homophobically ejected from television.
Yeah.
Literally just like discrimination, basically.
Such a good episode, though. It was that episode where she came out.
You think it was worth getting kicked off?
Yeah. You got to be a trailblazer.
It was great. It was a great episode.
She was an awesome. I still like Ellen.
I helped her on her last special. First of all, she's fucking hilarious as a person. She's got a dark sense of humor. She's like, she's just really, she's a comic.
Yeah.
For full stop. Ellen DeGeneres is a comedian who became a talk show host, and then they branded her as the nice person, which she did nice things. She is nice, but she's also in charge of 200 people and is generating hundreds of millions of dollars every year for a corporation by the force of her personality. So if she likes her coffee a certain way, do you mind? Do you fucking mind? That's and I've dealt with her, and she's always been respectful to me.
Yeah.
She called me the other day about a joke.
Really?
From
she still writes jokes like that?
Yes. She called me about a joke because I have the joke, what do the clowns think? And she was like, I'm thinking about a clown. You know what I mean? Like she saw the joke and was like, fuck, like she's not going, fuck him. I'm going to steamroll him. I'm going to be like a comic about it and call a comic friend of mine and say, is this too close?
That's a big thing that happens where people just go, oh, I don't care.
Yeah, Neal did.
I don't fucking care. Mine's different.
Yeah,
and you're like, no, you got it. That's the thing that separates the two, is that you go, oh no, I got something like that. I gotta refer to that.
Yeah, and it's respectful to ask your comedian friend, like, hey, is this so?
Todd Glass, I had a joke about getting a blowjob. I tried the sensitive approach, where you slide it in her mouth while she's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And Todd Glass had a joke like that. And I was like, just, I have a slide it in her mouth while she's sleeping joke. And Todd goes, you can have it.
No beat, not even a pause.
Yeah, that's all you.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and let
you
that baby
hold her
go.
by the back. I go, yeah, hold her back. He goes, yeah, that's all you.
Yeah. You know what, bro? That's more you than me. So thank you. And it was fun to defend comedians who, for no good reason. So I said to somebody, it's like, when you're trying to think of transgender policies, why is anyone saying, hey, what does the guy who played Rick James think? Why is Dave even in this conversation? You know what I mean? Like, we're comedians. I understand that we've gotten power over the last decade or two, but like, that's not our fault. That's a failure of church, government, corporations, and media. Mm-hmm. And now Joe's supposed to be an arm of the CDC. Meanwhile, the minute Joe becomes an arm of the CDC, he has no appeal anymore. And he's not a person. Then he's just a spokesman for a government instead of a person with a microphone.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's really should be our responsibility.
It's so funny. I was debating whether or not to ever share this because I feel like I got lucky. But I will very, very simply say I got
you had a joke about sliding your dick in a sleeping woman's mouth.
Yeah.
and that's illegal. Go ahead.
No. If you're married, it's not.
Not as of 1979, it's illegal. But before that, 79, you were good. Go ahead.
What? You just said a date, and I'm having a hard time thinking of things that happened before, from Jamestown to before the Revolutionary War. Can you name anything that happened from Jamestown to the Revolutionary War?
That's a great. I don't know what you're doing, but I can't.
I can't think of one thing.
And that's like 130 years.
It's roughly.
I think they just stood
years.
there.
I think they did. I think there was a lot of just like eating leather, and just the British. I know that there was a war between France and Great
the Native
Britain.
Americans.
And no, everyone had a war with the Native Americans.
I mean, these guys won't stop fighting.
Fucking these guys.
I don't know what they're doing, these people.
I tried to get into Native American history last night from 1407 till the Jamestown, and I couldn't believe it. Like, meaning I was like...
Bert, I think I speak for everyone. I say, go ahead and go back to drinking.
Yeah. I know, right?
Oh, is this what you're going to be like?
This is my question. How do you... What?
Because this is going to kill me.
No. This is
the drinking was going to kill you. Vague historian Bert Kreischer is going to kill America.
Strength.
Holy shit!
I've got bored with myself. I didn't know what was interesting me anymore, and I was like, and I know that you were interested so much in self help.
Yes,
where you were really deep diving it, and it was like a curiosity of yours. Every time I talked to you, it was something new. Now that you're doing good, what is it like? Mountain biking? Because I'm trying to figure out. I'm at a place where I go, I'm empty. I got empty. I feel like there's nothing left to say.
It's not a problem, but it is an interesting thing where if you realize now how much time drinking was taking up. 5 hours a day?
More than that. And it allowed me to be present. It didn't make me think of the future or the past. I didn't even think anything. I just got to be calm in the moment. And then once you have an evening where you're like, all right, it is now 8:00. What am I going to do with my time?
5 hours.
I have 5 hours to kill.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I got a lot of...
All right, World War II. Okay,
dude.
Native American.
I feel like all I do is I get into a thing of history, and then I get in my bunk or my bed in the bus, and I go, let's deep dive this, and let's find out. But I'm curious.
Well, that's a good question, because I don't know, because this is like, I'm writing my this is my 5th hour.
Well, you talk about it in the special is that you think of jokes so much that even when you talk to someone else, they're like asking you and you're like, I don't know.
I'm just thinking about jokes.
Yeah.
That's what I think you are too, though.
Yeah, but where is it? Where are you writing from now? Like, what's entering your life to pique your curiosity?
For instance, I'm dating a woman. She's a 3.5-year-old.
She's 3.5?
Yeah. I'm going to slide my whatever. My girlfriend has a son who's 3.5. So I've written a couple. I've never had a kid. So and again, I'm not going to be like the dad comic or any of that stuff, but like it's a new thing that I'm interested in. But on the other hand, I'm a bit like, I don't want to rush another hour. Mm-hmm. So I'm just kind of like, I didn't put tickets on sale for a tour. I'm just putting this out and I'm doing it Jesselnick style. I hope that when I have a new hour, people will come and see it. Like I'm just basing it on hope. I'm not basing it on like striking while the iron's hot and we got to capitalize on all that stuff. No offense. That
should have been the name of all my tours. Strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah. So
next one's make hay while the sun shines.
Your next one after that. You're still here? Haven't you got the message?
I'm taking 9 months off.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm taking 9 months off starting July 7th.
Congrats.
I'm Well, I think too. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with my life.
You'll figure something out. I mean, or you'll just put tickets on sale. I mean, you don't have to do anything. That's the weird thing about money and having enough success where like having to make a living is a very structured environment. Mm-hmm. And then once you break through the sound barrier, or you break through the atmosphere, then you're kind of like, oh, what am I? If I don't have to do anything, what do I want it? Who am I without having to do this thing?
Who am I? And
don't ask me, Bert. And did you feel the desperation?
I'm like I don't know. Like it really comes with like I read Kyle Kinane in an interview and he said, I love destroying brands. And like when he had the beard, he got rid of the beard. When he was bald, he grew the hair. Like everything, he's always destroyed brands, which I think is admirable. But then I thought there's two parts. One is loving your brand, loving something that you are is integrally a part of you. Like, I'm never going to put a shirt on because I don't like wearing a shirt on stage. I enjoy not wearing a shirt on stage. But when you start thinking,
I wanted to say you stole it from Tig, and I think it's about time people
should
know that he. Go ahead.
It was tough when Tig took her shirt off. I was like, that's kind of
this bitch.
Fuck. I was like, she did it so much better.
I know.
Let me tell you about my friends at American Financing. They're a family-owned mortgage company that's been around for 25 years. They're saving homeowners just like you an average of $854 a month by tapping into their home's equity to pay off high-interest debts. Mortgage rates are now in the fives, much lower than they've been in a long time. And all it takes is a 10-minute call to their salary-based mortgage consultants to find out how much they can save you. Think about what you could do with an extra $854 a month. That's $10,000 a year. Call today. They never charge any upfront fees, and you may even be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. American Financing, 800-852-2010. That's 800-852-2010, or visit AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. APR for rates in the fives start at 6.799% for well-qualified borrowers. Call 800-852-2010 for details about credit costs and terms. This show is sponsored by DraftKings. An action-packed fight card is taking over Las Vegas for UFC 300, and DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC, is giving new customers a shot to turn $5 into $150 instantly in bonus bets with any UFC 300 bet. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Bertcast. New customers can bet $5 to get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code Bertcast. The crown is yours. It's interesting is like, brand wise, like your brand was so you were so entrenched in self-help.
Yeah, I know. And that's so I have a thing at the beginning where I'm like, hey, if you're here for me to be sad, I've got bad news. I'm doing good. Someone came to my show and DM'd me. They were like, I kept waiting for you to show up. They were upset that I wasn't sad. So I started having to do the announcement at the beginning so that people knew I'm not doing any of that introspection shit. And I hope people that don't like me will give it a chance. I'm like, I don't want this queer emo shit. Hopefully they'll be like, oh, this guy is friends with Bert and Tom and Joe.
No, the special's so fucking good.
Thank you, buddy.
That all I can say is that any comedy fan is going to absolutely fucking love it.
Great.
There's no way you can't love it. I watched it and I was like, this is fucking it's just thick with jokes.
Mm-hmm.
But I did find the one thing I kept saying was, I'm curious where his brain is, not having to try to fix his brain. Like, what does the freedom feel like?
Well, you know that your brain will just form jokes.
Yeah,
but almost involuntarily.
Was there a struggle to form jokes before when you were dealing with?
No, it wasn't like a struggle, but I just didn't feel good. Yeah. And now I did enough DMT and ayahuasca. Now I feel good. And the same reflexes and the same, like, my brain is very structured. Mm-hmm. So I just can add information and my brain will kind of structure a joke around it. And I mean, yours does too. Like any professional comedian, like you do it. So now it's just different. I mean, it's like less sort of, I mean, woke is overused, but like it's not my act is I have a rape joke.
It's a great rape joke.
Yeah,
might be one of the best ones I've heard.
Thank you. Yeah, serious. But I'm talking about rape jokes kind of generally, and like, so that's me taking a dark thing and putting it in like in the Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah,
and then that's what comes out, and I have a new 20, and it's all it doesn't feel any different than the last 20.
Really?
Doesn't feel like, hey everybody, no. It's all the same. I'm still having the same life. I'm just reacting to it. The jokes even before were still jokes. They were just next door to emo shit. So it didn't seem like it was as funny or something. Or it was like they seemed more emo than they were when it was just basically like gender, race, politics and social media.
No, but I don't know. I felt like I honestly just felt there was a brightness or a lightness in this hour that I hadn't seen you.
That's what it. Yes. So that's
which is what comedy can be for everyone, and even for the person that gets upset with you that you're not sad. I totally get that as well. I'm certain there's people that see me, and I've never really been a big drinker on stage. Like you don't see me like murdering beers.
Right.
It's happened, and I'm certain there's people
but
that
it
like,
seems like you are.
It definitely seems like I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it seems like you, like it's not, you don't have, there's a Louis Anderson story where somebody told Louis Anderson, because Louis Anderson off stage was really cutting, right?
And someone goes, going to say gay. He was really gay off stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About as gay as you can be.
Yeah. And
off stage.
And there were people that found out that he was gay and they were like, hold on.
Yeah. Go behind our Patreon and we'll tell you who else is gay. That you wouldn't believe it.
How many people do you think you could name that are gay? Over or under 10?
That aren't out?
That aren't out.
Well, what define gay?
Oh, wow. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Because I'm going to give you a 1983 version of what gay is.
Okay.
Like if you kiss a dude, that's pretty gay. Like that. If you have sex with a dude, if you give or receive a blowjob,
you've handled a penis,
handled another man's penis,
or
gay.
Had your penis handled for more than 3 seconds by another man.
Yes, that's gay. How many could you name?
Probably under 10.
Yeah,
that aren't out.
Yeah,
probably. I mean, that I know under 10.
Yeah,
that I have firsthand proof that they've done a gay act.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Just white dudes?
Shane Gillis, right? Theo. Okay.
Talk about destroying brands.
I mean, geez.
How great would Shane be if he just came out as gay as fuck?
That'd be so great. He should, just to be funny.
He's like, here's the thing with sucking a dick, right?
So gay.
So gay. So gay.
Yeah. So I don't know what we were talking about, but so Louis Anderson.
Yeah.
So somebody goes, Louis, why don't you show him the knife on stage? Meaning like chop some motherfuckers up verbally on stage. Does a show. He slices motherfuckers up. Doesn't do well. Gets off stage and goes, I think they can sense the knife. And that's enough. Like with you don't have to drink on stage. You have enough branding and enough like party energy that I just assume that you're doing.
The big thing now is,
are people upset that you're not
fat as fuck
or drunk?
No, I did have, Rogan told me he was distracted by my shoulders.
All right. That's one gay. Okay, so we got one.
I came off stage and he was like, you're too jacked. And I was like, what? He was like, you're too jacked. Your shoulders are distracting. And he goes, it's not funny anymore, or something to the effect of that. And I was like, okay. And I said, I said, I'm not going to listen to that. Like, I was like, I appreciate your insight, but I'd rather be healthy. Like I murdered on stage. I think for Joe, it was a distraction, but I was like, I had another person that I really respect told me, joy should, I'll share this off camera with you, but represent joy on stage, represent what health and joy feels like. And that is what you should do.
Well, that's what I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like my face just couldn't do it. So I did enough ayahuasca and DMT to get my face to be able to do it a little bit. And when I was editing the special, whenever I smiled, I was like, go to the close up. Cause I had to like communicate that like did
you direct it?
Yeah.
Great backdrop.
Oh yeah. The backdrop's nice.
Great backdrop.
Yeah. Thank
you. Great backdrop.
That's based on a art, whatever. Not cheap.
It didn't look cheap. And I will say, beautifully edited because it changes colors throughout and never once distracted, simply complimented.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I like the deep dive on a special.
April 9th, Netflix on Tubi. So I always wanted to represent joy. I just couldn't. Like I always say, Kevin, I direct some of those Kevin Hart commercials, and like when you cut to Kevin, the sun shines.
Yeah.
And I would love to be that. Not only would I love to be that because it's a better show, but I love to be that just because it's a better experience for Kevin to be a sun, to be the sunshine. I'd rather have the sun, I'd rather be the sun. I'd rather be happy and upbeat. Now, I have a funny story about my brother Kevin. One time we were pitching a show for him. I was going to write a show with him for him.
Yeah.
This is in the late 90s. And he kind of just, in the middle of the pitch, he just checked out and just was like grumpy, no energy. So I had to like hit the gas and like kind of bring the energy up and cry. And we leave the meeting and he goes, "Good job, Sparkles." So you can imagine why I have a negative association with being sparkly on stage. So it was so thank you for the compliments. And I'm just trying. I hope I don't disappoint any of my blocks or Three Mics fans, and I hope I get some new fans.
I think it's like, here's the deal. To go back to what Kyle Kinane said is, brand is it's such an archaic. It's an old way of looking at this business. Is you got famous for one thing, then stick to that one thing. When the thing isn't that, the thing is a moving target always of funny.
And it's also your life force.
Do you remember when Chappelle came back with fucking arms?
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't go like, oh, there goes the Dave Chappelle I like. I went, oh fuck, man, he's been working out. He looks good.
Oh man, his arms are distracting me. Like my shoulders distract Joe.
Can I tell you, I took it as a nice compliment when Joe said that, because I was like, my shoulders are distracting. I was like, nice. I know Joe's looks at some shoulders. He commentates MMA.
Joe's a shoulder guy from way back.
I can't wait to get the text from Joe. He's like, first of all, that's not exactly what I said. I'm never good at recalling conversations. That's why I'm holding a conversation to share with you privately off camera.
Okay.
Because I'm never good at recalling. I always, it's the way you write jokes. I know I write stories that way, in that as something will happen, I simply skinny it up and punch it up so that the person's entertained.
Yeah.
And I do that.
And you can take, when people got mad at Hassan Minaj for it, which I can argue for or against, but I'm saying you take a detail from one story. I don't think you should change facts, but I think you can take details and put in an observation, and I didn't think of it then, but I thought that's all admissible.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not going to change. Has your brain changed from not drinking?
Yes.
How?
I'm almost filled with a somewhat dangerous amount of joy, and that I don't know how to quantify it at times, and I don't know what to do with it, and I'm just sitting there like really like what's gone in me is intrusive depressive thoughts or obsessive thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I would wake up always thinking about death, and because I was living an unhealthy lifestyle, once I got my blood work back and it was all positive, I got a real sense of joy about like, there we go.
After I got
sober. After I got
how much weight have you lost?
45 pounds.
Great.
But sober's a loose term. I've smoked weed. I've definitely drank. Everyone knows I still party, but I've definitely gone bigger stretches without partying.
Yeah.
Because but there is I got rid of a lot of the bad shit where I would get up, I would see a thing on Instagram, like just a video.
There's probably a daredevil thing in the amount of drinking you were doing, where it's like, how am I still alive? Or is this gonna kill me? Or is this?
I think it was. I really think a lot of it was I didn't deserve the success I was getting without paying the tax of being the guy I said I was. Meaning, like I think there was a little bit of destructive behavior in that I'll prove everyone wrong. I'm gonna drink whatever the fuck I want to. But there was a part of it that was tethered to my success a little bit in my head, I think. I don't know, but I had to get comfortable with it. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. When we got the house we live in now, I didn't feel like I deserved it. And I felt really embarrassed of it. And even showing it to people, I got embarrassed of it. And for the first year we were in that house, I was really hesitant about showing people my pool or my backyard. I didn't mind it with the other house because it was so small that I felt like I was cool showing you this house. That's where but then when I got that, I just
this is a people's mansion. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was such a great house. But I remember people would come there and be like, I think your brother came there and was like, oh, this is way smaller. And I was like, what?
That's funny.
And he was like, I thought it was a big house. I was like, no, it was tiny. And but I remember him being like, oh, I thought it was, that's so funny. It looks bigger on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so then I remember hearing that vividly and thinking, if they thought that house was big, this house is going to look obnoxious. Yeah. And I think there's a part of feeling like, are you worth success? That I think I didn't feel like I was worth it, but I felt like alcohol made it okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't exactly follow you, but I follow you enough to know what you're talking about. I understand that there is an amount of, I always think the tax that you're talking about, you do end up paying it.
Yeah. You
end up paying it with like negative assumptions that you think people think about you. And I've gotten better at that through MDMA. So it's all drugs for me.
So wait, so when, I'm sure you probably talked about your experience on ayahuasca, but I'm just afraid to do it. Like, I'm afraid.
It's very scary. It's very scary. It's very profound. It's very severe. It's not mild. It's terrifying. But you saw the special. I'm good.
It's like going to Europe and it's sticking.
Like going to Europe and it's but it's like way more than Europe. I mean, it's like I met God.
Yeah, you talk about that in the special.
Like I can't. And again, that's my experience, and it's not for everybody. But I'm just saying, like, I experienced things that made my personality different.
How does that happen? Then does it happen the next day?
It happened over time.
Yeah.
But it happened over time, and it made it just like it changes your synapses.
Okay, so there's a part of me then maybe
this is also DMT and then MDMA on like the 3 in a row.
Really?
Yeah.
And you were not a casual drug user.
No, I didn't. MDMA didn't even work for me. So now the times I've done MDMA this year, like that's gotten me. So there was a. I'm a big grudge holder, right? I don't know if you can relate, but like I'm a grudge holder. Remember the enemies, all that shit. And did MDMA last August or September, and had no problem forgiving my enemies. And I was like, why was I able to do that? Why was I able to forgive my enemies that easily? And it was like, because I was flooded with serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin from MDMA. So therefore, those were the chemicals that were in my brain, and I was able to interpret the world differently. And I was like, why can't I do that normally? And it's like, because normally my brain is mostly cortisol and stress hormones. So when your brain is filled with that stuff, you organize life by like justice and vengeance and retribution. And it's so I was like, I don't even believe, I thought I'm Mr. Justice and Mr. Fairness and all this stuff. That was just the chemicals I had on hand. Once I get different chemicals on hand, I believe different shit. So I was like, I need to ignore all this cortisol. I need to ignore, most of the time I wake up and it's this person, and it's like, I don't even listen to that part of my brain. It's just chemicals. It's not what I thought was my personality. Isn't. It's not. It's just a bunch of chemicals that then influence my thoughts, or not even influence, are my thoughts. And then I think that's my personality. So I've gotten better at, wake up.
Pretty profound.
I know it is. So I wake up. That's why I came on your podcast and didn't do a TED Talk. So since then I've focused on ignoring negative thoughts. Like before, when they come in, I'm like, it's a squatter. Or I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like you have no time. And then beyond that, I started doing a gratitude checklist. Okay. Because my brain, because of so much cortisol, would just write science fiction about how I'm a victim and how people don't like me and just all this stuff that's like maybe true for a couple people, but like, so I've been doing objective checklists about my life. And then Rainn Wilson came on my podcast Blocks and said, why don't you do it? We were talking about Islam, and I was like, Islam praying 5 times a day is about right. That's about how often you should remind yourself that there's a God.
Yeah.
And he goes, why don't you write a gratitude checklist 5 times a day? I was like, fine. So the last 3 or 4 months, I do it at least twice, a lot of times 4 times a day, where I do a gratitude checklist of the facts of my life. I'm not going like, I'm just going like, you were a writer, now you're a pretty famous comedian. By the way, the shit you wrote is incredibly popular. You have some money. You have a fertile brain that can write jokes. All the things I thought were threats in my life are really gifts, but over a longer timeline. Like things where I was like, so-and-so doesn't like me. And then I see the person, they're like, hey man, I want to say something. And I'm like, I was just tricking myself.
Oh.
So getting, gratitude lists are like very Oprah-fied and Hallmarky and I cringy, but like it's worked so well. And if I'm going into like a tough situation professionally, like with a lot of people, and I will pull over and write out what the facts of my life are. The facts of my life. Literally, you could write down, you have X amount of dollars in the bank. You have 4 Netflix specials. The leading streaming platform on the planet you live on. You have 4 hours of you talking. What's the problem? And that's what I realized. I don't have problems. I have preferences and appointments. Any problem I thought I have, I'm volunteering for any problem I have. I didn't have to come here. I wanted to. So it's just, here's another thought I had which is I used to think life wasn't fair. And it turns out I was right. It's not fair. No one's life should be this good. Yeah. It's not fair to everyone else because this shit is insane. My experience is insane. Your experience is insane.
Yes.
So I understand when people get mad at Ellen for being in a bad mood or whatever, because like, how could she possibly be in a bad mood? It's like, because it's hard to remember how lucky you are.
It is.
For everyone.
And it's hard to get out of that cycle when you get attacked by something in your head. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could just get like the littlest thing will send me, not as much when I'm not boozing. Like I'm much better at going like, the number one thing.
Well, because I'm betting booze is cortisol.
I'm almost certain it is. I bet it's a serotonin for a few ounces, and then it becomes cortisol. Is it really just the chemicals in your brain?
I think it's chemical, A, and then culturally, all right, it's chemical, and then that's A, and B is human life has just been nothing but threats for most of it.
Yeah.
So we're not supposed to relax. We're not, our body, these are cave bodies that are built for that time. So to just go, I don't have to worry about anything. A party goes like, this is when they get you.
That's what, okay. It's my nooks and crannies. My mom used to call it my nooks and crannies. And I had a fear of flying, and I had a way to fix it in my head where I still do rituals in the shower, drink on a plane. And I felt like if I didn't respect the fear, that I was welcoming all the devastation.
Pride cometh before the fall. It's in the Bible.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
I don't know. I'm really stuck on Islam now that you said they pray 5 times a day.
Right.
There's 5 tenets to Islam. I only know that praying and taking a trip to Mecca.
Breakdancing, graffiti. I'm kidding.
Smoking cigarettes has got to be one. They smoke like chimneys.
If you think I'm going to say a word about this, you don't follow the news. So yeah, like what if I'm not, I have a joke with Santino because he's like, what's the lowest point of your life? Of your professional life?
Oh, I've talked about it. It's
I know you have. I
you
can't remember what it is.
Fired
somewhere
from Travel Channel and being pulled off the Funny or Die tour for no reason, and my special not performing, and Tom was fat shaming me.
Yep.
And Leanne was redoing the house. And
what street did you live on? Okay. So so if you think about a complaint you had yesterday, right?
Okay.
If I'm God and I hear you complaining, I go, is that the kid from Street? Didn't we fucking give him everything?
That's crazy when you say that. And I go, so wait, I was complaining about being pulled off the Funny or Die tour. Like,
but no, I'm not even. Whatever you're complaining about yesterday is the bullshit.
Yeah,
you were in dire straits professionally.
I was worried I wasn't going to be able to afford.
And it's all healed. This is an after photo. Yeah. I'm looking at an after photo. So if I'm still gonna be unappreciative, then I'm the dick. I'm an asshole. If I can't appreciate this, I'm an asshole. Like, what would I appreciate? If I won't appreciate this life, what life would I, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, literally, what life would I appreciate?
Do you think there's a way, do you think there's an easier joy to be had in this is a weird statement to say, but say a life that's filled with 80% struggle. Say you're building fences all day long and that's all you do, and you have no hope for upward mobility. You just build fences. And so, because I used to envy fence builders.
But you know what the problem with what you said was?
What?
Hope for whatever, upward mobility.
Oh.
That's what the issue is that you're looking to...
How would I get out of that?
You yourself are looking to, how's Tom or Joe or whoever you think is doing better than you? Yeah. Or Chappelle or
it's not Tom.
God forbid. Nothing could be further from the truth. Or the proverbial Tom, whoever your people are.
I know, yeah.
So that's the thing of like, if I get that, then you'd be happy. Bert, who's doing better than you? Do you know what I mean? And I say that as like, you can ask me that and I could give you a list and you'd be like, yeah, he makes more money than you. But like, funny wise, I'm up there. Like, you know what I mean? Like talent wise, all the shit. Like, and if I can get some more sunshine, forget game over for you cocksuckers. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I also know that if I get more sunshine, it's not gonna make a difference if I don't appreciate this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna make a difference if I don't appreciate this. If I don't appreciate this, why is adding a show? Why is doing 4 shows at the Wilbur gonna get it if 2 didn't?
Yeah.
You know what? It's like what do you want? And I say that to anyone listening to this. And there are probably people that are like, well, I want, okay, appreciate this, appreciate what you have. And chances are, again, I'm not going to be like biblical about it, but like you might get rewarded in this sphere. Meaning, if you appreciate it, I feel like being appreciative will make getting more irrelevant. You know what I mean? You will have enough.
Yeah, and I think it's probably the thing of one isn't enough. Like, it's so funny. Money is so interesting because I used to quantify so much about money. Like, I used to be like, I remember $1 million was like my thing. If I could make $1 million, I would have no worries.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what $1 million. And then I made $1 million and I was like, wow, $1 million isn't what it used to be.
Right. Well,
I never had $1 million, but I was like, fuck, that goes way quick.
Did I ever tell you it's one of my favorite showbiz stories? So I did Fallon 12 years ago or something. And Jimmy Brogan, who wrote for Jay Leno and was on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show a lot. I go, yeah, it's great doing Fallon, but it's not doing the Tonight Show. And he goes, when people used to do the Tonight Show, they'd be like, yeah, it was great, but it was no Ed Sullivan. So it's just always, everything's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like $1 million, still $1 million.
Still $1 million.
You just have too many of them. Turn it over, Bert.
Maybe.
We'll make you again, if you're worried about like pride coming before the fall, like what if something, what if you get sued? What if it's like all that your brain can talk your way out of it. But in the meantime, if you can avoid that and you can appreciate it. I mean, to me, that's kind of the sun. If there is a sunshine, it's that.
I never had it with women, oddly enough. Like, I know guys who've, the next woman was always the thing.
Yeah.
I never had it with women. For whatever reason, I did when I was younger, when like I would date a girl and I'd be like, oh, but what about her? And then at a certain age, I started realizing, oh, it's about that person. It's about, it's like almost like being cool with the car you own as opposed to looking at other cars.
Yeah.
And I love my car. I don't look at any other car. And I feel like I could get any car I wanted, but I like my car.
Yeah.
I like the interior.
Yes. And I would say you have a gorgeous amount of money. A fucking gorgeous.
But I keep thinking
that if she just had a little.
I don't know what the money thing is.
An 8 over there.
If I know my number where I go.
But then what's going to happen?
I don't know. I'm sure it'll be another number.
Right.
We both have a friend who made that number, and he's still making more numbers.
Yeah, because it's not true. It doesn't matter who over the age of 30 wants shit. Even Jeff Bezos and fucking Elon Musk are like, I guess I'll build a rocket. I don't fucking like. They're out of shit to do.
Yeah,
like they can't. You can only do so. I mean, a long time ago, people told like rich guys were like, the only thing that makes a difference is private jets.
So many people, like I'm a really happy person. I never can really get depression. I get anxiety. I really get anxiety. I get obsessive compulsiveness, but depression always like lost. I was always like, thank God I don't have it. Maybe I do, but I think there's so many people dealing with it.
20% or something at this point.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
And this special,
I'm doing a tour. I'm doing minor league baseball stadiums.
Oh, you should do it.
Monsters of Sadness.
The Monsters of Sadness.
No, yeah. The hope. That's the thing. Is like I would like people to not feel betrayed by it. I would like people to go like, oh, you can go past it, and have and be just like fun, and funny and silly, and not be weighed down by being morose and shit.
What's one thing you've done in the last 4 months, 3 months, where you caught yourself doing something that old Neal never would have done? Where you're like, God damn it, this is a Ferris wheel?
It's just more like a gratitude thing where
no activity where you're like, you caught yourself on a Ferris wheel and you're like, shut the fuck up.
I mean, my girl's got a kid, so I've just been like really liking it more. It looks like AI, me and this little kid having fun. Looks like is that new program where like just it's really fucking cute. And but just things that have happened where I'm like, yeah, I have a weirdly great, like me and Jimmy Carr go to U2, and then I don't know, he knows someone who knows him. We end up having dinner with him after the show, after the Sphere.
Fuck him. You're the perfect person to do that too.
How come?
Because you don't hammer them with stories about you. You listen and ask good questions.
Yeah, no, me and Bono had like a very good conversation. And I was like, yeah, I can't not, if I'm an asshole, if I don't think that this is great.
So first of all, U2 at the Sphere is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I texted you about it. I cried the whole time.
I cried the beginning to end, the whole time. Yeah. My daughters just sat and laughed.
Yeah.
They were like, I can't believe you're doing this.
What's sad though, is it's such a middle age. It's basically the Beach Boys. I was saying they should throw in like a prostate check with the tickets. It's such the Beach Boys. It's like, fuck. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to, I want to say. I know all these songs. I can act like I don't.
I didn't listen to them in probably 10, 15 years, and I sang them verbatim.
Yes.
Like,
like,
it is a beautiful day.
yeah. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to pretend I'm into shit I'm not into. So so I've had more, and also the idea of, not less ambitious, but more having all this shit in perspective, where it's not consuming and it's not going to ruin my day or week, or it'll ruin an hour. I'm not like healed.
Yeah.
But it's better than being consumed by it, because it doesn't help if once you have good shit, you can't appreciate it. There's no point in having good shit unless you can actually like, oh, I'm having a real unique experience.
Yeah.
Like you're having a real unique experience, Bert, on Earth.
I am.
Yeah.
You're
saying it like you're asking me, like I am.
No,
you are.
No, I am hyper aware of it at times where I'm really fucking dialed in. Where I go, it's that old Dave Attell joke. How I'm gonna fuck it up, and he's like, but I know the punchline is, while one kid's getting finger fucked in a tent, he's like, how one guy's blowing on a butterfly, and the other, he's like, where's your God then?
Yeah.
And I definitely, I had it last night. I got in the hot tub and I looked
Sounds
up.
like an awful joke. Go ahead.
Sorry, Attell. He's got a new special coming out.
Yeah, he sure does. Hopefully, I think I'm betting he's not closing with that. Go ahead.
He's not, but someone find the joke.
Yeah, I'm sure it's an Attell joke. So
but I do have moments where I'm hyper aware of like how great life is. Sometimes, like I said, a little dangerously.
But what does that mean, dangerously?
Like
you have so much.
I've been thinking about reaching out to people who quit drinking, because I feel like I quit drinking every week. You know, like every week I quit drinking, and so I go through this like profoundness of sobriety.
Is it because you drink?
I think because I drank.
And then you start back up?
Yeah. It's because I drank and I get into the fucking place where I go, all right, we got to stop. And then.
And it's like a day now or an hour?
Today is 2 days. But like this morning, I said to Leanne, like yesterday, I had a hard time. I was vibrating. Like I was like vibrating and I was like, God damn it, I feel fucking incredible. Like I feel really incredible. And I don't know, like it's almost like, I don't know the right way to say it, but like I had a day one time where I jumped off a stadium, I rappelled off Table Mountain, and I swam with great white sharks in like a 10-hour day. And I remember vibrating at the end of the day going like, what do I jack off or something? Like,
yeah.
Like I don't, and like, I feel like once you've set your life up to have these reward systems at the end of the day, when you have zero reward at the end of the day, you're fucking sitting going like, I feel great.
But I think what you're saying is you think alcohol is a reward. It's a punishment.
No, but it's a reward.
But it's why you're already vibrating.
Yeah.
So what's a better reward than that?
I don't know. I don't know. I keep.
Do you know what I mean? Though, like you're already on heroin. Why have heroin?
I know. I don't. All I know is the other night I didn't want to drink and I ended up drinking, and it was the greatest experience I've ever had in my entire life.
Well, you could have done it without drinking.
I could have.
Technically, if you don't appreciate this, what will you appreciate? And then you look at people that maybe are above you, and then you know they also have problems.
Health was a big thing for me, where I was so worried about my own health because the last doctor's appointment I had, he was like, "Hey man, you need to lose weight. Like we're at the breaking point now. You're the fattest I've ever seen. Your blood pressure's through the roof. This isn't good." And then once I got healthy, I remember, you know, it's so funny. You ever post something online and you keep checking the views. You go, I wonder how that's doing.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good thing.
Yeah. When
I got my health check back from Cedars, I kept having the impulse to wanting to post it online. Isn't that crazy? Like I kept wanting to post it so people knew I was healthy.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing. I wanted to share it with people.
Well, because, you know, Sober October, you guys would post I get it. And also it's fun. Numbers are fun. Scores are fun. I like mileage, my American Airlines and my Marriott and my fucking, my money and I like just going over here. How's this little crab trap doing? And how many do I have over here? It's like, I think it's it may be a guy thing because my girlfriend's always like, what are you doing? I'm like, she's like, you haven't flown. I'm like, no, but I just want to look at my miles.
Oh, I used to love checking into American. And then on Monday to see if they'd posted yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would understand the health thing. I guess I worry that when someone's doing well, drinking wise, diet wise, that you're going to slip and like you're going to fall back into it. So everything I've said is a waste of time.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
But
I've slipped before.
Oh, I know.
I'm not afraid to slip.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. I like
I've
a good slip.
Your tour. You had a slip and slide in the back. So but I would say that appreciation is or gratitude is it can be a huge shifter in terms of perspective, because your brain will try to protect you by writing science fiction about attackers and it's all hallucinations.
Yeah.
You're literally hallucinating threats and problems. You don't have any problems. Did you watch that World War II thing on Netflix?
Yes.
You know who had problems? The Russian soldiers who were eating their own horses. That's a problem, Bert.
Yeah.
That's a problem. The Bertcast not doing as well as Two Bears, not a problem.
I think I can live with that problem.
Yeah, that's a real fucking problem. Most people on Earth have real problems.
As Mother's Day approaches, you've been thinking about connecting with your mother or your grandmother, haven't you? I know I sure have. I think about my parents a lot. I call them every single day. I try to stay connected. I want them to stay connected with our daughters' lives. We get texts from our daughters that sometimes they don't include my parents in. Great pictures. Georgia goes on a camping trip, or Isla and her friends are heading to a different city and going on spring break. It's so fun. What's the easiest way to share those moments? Well, you can share every moment with the Skylight Frame, the perfect Mother's Day gift. The Skylight Frame is a touchscreen photo frame that your whole family can upload photos to, and they appear in seconds. You get to share your favorite moments with the people that matter the most to you. For them, for me, it's my parents. By the way, I've bought Skylight Frames for everyone in our family and for every one of our friends. It looks like a real photo frame that adds a beautiful touch to your home. We have one in our kitchen. We have one in our bedroom. We have one here at the office, and it holds thousands of photos that continuously rotate through and bring you daily joy. The one here in the office has all the pictures from Fully Loaded, and I see pictures from last year's Fully Loaded, and it just makes me smile. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. If you don't love your Skylight Frame, they will offer you a full refund. Here's the deal. A special limited time offer for our listeners. Get 15% off your purchase of a Skylight Frame when you go to skylightframe.com/Bert. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com/Bert. Mother's Day is coming right up. So order yours today to get 15% off your purchase at skylightframe.com/Bert. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. It can be easy to ignore your social batteries and spread ourselves thin, especially with social gatherings picking up after the winter. What's the right amount of socializing for you, and how do you recharge? Maybe you thrive around people like myself, or maybe you need some time alone, like my buddy Tom Segura. Therapy can give you self-awareness to build the social life that doesn't drain your battery. It's interesting. When you talk to a therapist, you can explain who you are and why you operate the way you are, and sometimes the hiccups you have with friends, and it is exactly that. It is that you like being around people. You want to go to dinner with everyone, and that person just wants you and him go to dinner, and that's it. Why are we inviting everybody? Why can't we just hang out? And you're like, I don't know, man. It's the thing. Are we going to stop by the club after this? And when you talk to someone else about it, they can shine a brighter light on you so you can see it clearer. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find your social sweet spot with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Bert today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Bert. Who is it? I just was listening to a documentary about some epic man who would not eat for a couple days to remind himself of what his needs were. I just listened to this the other day, and he was saying that the hunger clarified his brain.
Yeah.
Where you start realizing.
Well, your brain starts kicking out different shit too. It's different. It's like it's like intermittent fasting. It's that stuff where it's clarifies in some ways your life's so good you have to cosplay problems.
The fucking polar plunges.
That's a great example.
Getting a polar plunge and all of a sudden you're very present.
Yeah. And you have to go like, my life's so good. Freeze me.
Yeah.
Fucking freeze me.
Put me in the sauna at 180 degrees. And then all I'm thinking about is, how do I get the fuck out of here?
Yes. Survival.
Do you remember like in like 2008, everyone was growing tomatoes?
I don't, but we could do bread. We could do bread during COVID.
Yeah, during bread. But it was like, I remember Leanne was growing tomatoes and growing her own, like.
It may have just been her, FYI.
Probably.
Yeah, remember when everyone was growing? Yeah.
No, but there was, and I remember being like, it's almost like in order to find joy, people are going back to settler times when they were like, oh, this tomato. And then it's like almost a reversion. I wonder what that, like, when I look at the ultra marathoners, I go, it can't be finishing the race you enjoy because you don't get the race anymore. If you run 100 miles, your joy has to be in the running 100 miles.
I mean, a buddy of mine, my buddy Court, runs ultras, and like he hallucinates. Straight up hallucinate. I dated a woman who used to run ultras, and she said the forest would talk to me. Like it's like a biblical experience. When you were talking about going back to 1800s, a friend of mine one time, and I think she's right. She was like, I think once we stop living in tribes, we were fucked. I think that's the right amount of people. It's hard to have shitty values in a tribe, in a jungle. You just, the only value is like, we stay together and we get enough food to eat and we protect ourselves from invaders.
Yeah.
And then once it got into like bigger cities and fame and status, and there's no status in it. I mean, there's like the tribe, the head guy, but I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm sure there wasn't a ton of jealousy or people like gunning for the head, the elder, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was.
Watch Shogun.
I haven't watched it.
It's so good.
Okay, good.
It's so good, but it's crazy that even the guy that's kind of conniving,
when respectful. He's respectful, or he's not?
He offered his life up.
Yeah,
he was like, I kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
if you need to kill me, you have to kill me. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah,
he's already conniving.
Yeah, and he's still respectful. Like, having said that,
yeah,
fuck you. But having said that, if you need to, I get it. Like, there's still ethics to it. So like, I think a lot of this stuff is like, I think maybe the sort of worry about your life's too good or whatever, like that's stress from the amount of, the best part of your life is probably Leanne and the kids.
Well,
just say yes.
My tour is pretty good. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's good. But again, there are things in the tour that like, you're the head of a tribe and you're the head
Today, my gratitudes were, because I woke up a little bit of funk. I wanted to catch a sunrise. I thought it would be cool to catch a sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got up to see the sunrise, and there was a haze over the day. And I went, fuck. I was like, I'm up for nothing. It was, and I was like, fuck this day. And then I saw something online that kind of just tweaked me. It wasn't even just something about Cat Williams. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I know.
What about him?
It was some
positive or negative?
It was something negative about Cat Williams.
Got it.
And then I was just like, oh, God. And then I got into a funk. And then I said, today I was like, all right, hold on. What are my gratitudes? I was like, I literally said, I got to move my body a little bit. I want to move my body and feel healthy. And I worked out. And then as I felt healthy, I said, I went through my gratitudes, and I kept getting snagged on something. And then my gratitudes were, I have a great relationship with my daughters. I'm communicating with them more than I've ever communicated with them, ever, in my whole life. I never talked to my daughters this much. It's granted they're older, and I think the conversation's a little easier.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'm happily married. I'm happier than I've ever been. And the things that are bothering me are not real.
It's Bert, you're living a dream. This is a dream come true. It happens to be your dream, but it's also most people's dream.
So then what do I do when I get 9 months off and I don't get to live I'm living my dream, but like because I keep thinking,
well, you don't have to take 9 months off if you don't want to.
I know, but like I keep thinking, should I find something like sail to Hawaii, or is there any value in any of these epic adventures? Does that bring clarity to you, do you think? when you see ultra marathoners or a guy hike Everest or like, do you think there's any value in those things?
I remember talking to somebody about running marathons, and he's like, my worry is, and he actually ended up doing it. He ran a marathon, and he was like, he ran 3 hours, 10 minutes or something. And he was like, yeah, but now I'm mad I didn't do it under 3. Like, you're gonna keep, so again, it's just gotta be, that was good enough. And I'd also like to say, like, I live this sometimes. A lot of times I just get caught in the same shit as everybody else. And I don't know, because I think about showbiz and like, it's not that easy on the nervous system to perform all the time.
Yeah.
It's not, doing stand-up's not easy on your nervous system. We've trained our bodies to make it seem like it is. It's not. And there are times where I'm like, I don't want to be in this food fight right now. I don't want to get in my car to put myself through difficulty. And then if I did, and I go, okay, well, what would you do? And I don't know. But I'm taking my time, like writing a new hour, and I'm not rushing into, I'm not just doing it, like I said, to strike with the iron's heart. But I don't know my plan is just to read, exercise.
You always read good books.
Oh man.
Your books are always like, every time you bring up a book on Rogan, I'm like, fuck, I got to get that. I got one and I had a really hard time getting through it.
Well, that's because you're stupid.
Yeah. Buddy, I wish you. Sometimes I wonder if I'm not even stupid. I'm just so self-centered because I start reading and I start thinking about myself.
Yeah, like this isn't about me at all.
Yeah, like I go. How does?
Well, no, but it is funny. The thing about books is it does. Good books remind you of yourself.
Yeah.
So like it's a way to connect with yourself. But if it's all information, then
I have the book you on my phone, and it was tedious.
Amusing Ourselves to Death. Is it that one?
I'm certain it. This is. I got a book on Winston Churchill that I'm going through
Fantastic.
right now. Where was? I wish I had. Oh, my library. It was outrageous. A history of showbiz and culture wars.
I thought that book was great.
I had a hard time. Yeah,
it's all people getting canceled. It's all comics getting canceled.
What? Yeah, but I forgot. Oh yeah, that was a good fucking book. Hold on, what were the chapters? Oh, it just says track 1. Yeah, that was a good book. That was talking about. That was a good book.
Yeah,
yeah. I
don't put this on me.
Yeah,
that's a good.
How do you get your books? How do you find a book to read?
That one's a guy, Cliff Nestoroff, who I know a little bit, and I think he sent it to me. But like, there's also like best ofs in news on like New York Times.
Really?
Yeah. Just like top books of 2023 so far, or 2024.
Do you wake up early?
No, not really. 9.
Yeah,
it's not early.
Yeah. On the road, I can sleep until 2.
But yeah, like I don't. But the other thing is like, what do you make of what you've accomplished? Meaning, what do you think? Meaning, what's the story of you now?
Oh, I feel like I'm someone who's always defined myself as being an underdog, and today I actually said, this is going to sound fucked up, but I said I'm kind of having a hard time rooting for me because I go,
you and me, bro. Yeah, it's been a while. You're just caught up. You've been a villain for 2.5 years. Okay.
But I was like, what am I trying to do? What am I trying to accomplish? Like, how am I challenging myself? How am I, it was easy to root for me when I felt like all the chips were against me. It was easy to go, you got this. Give myself a pep talk.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I get up and I go, what's your pep talk sound like today? Everything's going really good. Just keep moving in the right direction. And
well, yeah, that's the thing of like, what when I'm writing my little checklist, sometimes I'll be like, just work hard and focus.
But I envy you because I'm not to go back to your special again, but like there was such a brightness in
special, Bert.
It was such a brightness in it that I went, ooh, I can't wait to see what his next one's like. I actually said, how fun to rediscover life and go, this is bright and this is fucking powerful. And God damn it. And I feel like for me, I got healthy and I got in shape and I'm like, cool. And then I was like, all right. And then I'm like, I'm getting ready for a special so I can root for myself in the Like, come on, buddy. Like, watching your special, I go, I mean, every comic has to do this, and if you don't, I don't think you're doing comedy right. But I was like, oh, mine's not that good. And I was like, I got to write way more. I got to sit down. Everything. You move so quickly in a thematic sense throughout this. You do not, it is so joke heavy, but it is not like set up, punch, changing subjects. It's set up, punch. All of a sudden, we're in a new subject, set up, punch, and it seems seamless. And I went, God damn it, man. And so I was like, fuck. And the brightness you have on stage was so inspiring. And I was like, okay, so what's my struggle going to be? You know, that, and it was easy to quantify going like, I got to write more. But then I started going like, I don't know. I was literally saying to myself, how do I root for myself? I wonder if there's people that feel that way. Like, how do I root for myself? The thing you bring up in the special that I fucking love is Michael Jordan. I respect those fucking savage brains that go, how do I motivate myself?
Yeah. And I don't think you have to be, I think the last big article I read about Michael Jordan, he seems like he's trapped. There was one about 10, 12 years ago where he was in the Bahamas and he was at the Atlantis, which is like, stay somewhere else. But he was at Atlantis and he was talking about how he could guard LeBron. He's like, he has no left. So he's crazy. Like, this motherfucker, I could guard him. And then he can't go to the casino because he'd get mobbed. So he's just playing Sudoku until he falls asleep. Because he's so competitive that he can't stop. So I think that there's a way to do it where the narrative doesn't have to be underdog. The narrative just has to be like, be a great comedian. You love comedy.
Yeah.
You love comedy. You love comedians. You love what it's done. You love what it is. You love the feeling. You love how you can change a mind. You can, all the shit you can do with comedy, do that. And it doesn't have to be, even this special isn't really that underdog based. It's not me going like, it's just like, I have a new spirit and energy, and I would like to exercise it in this way.
Yeah.
And like, I had some thoughts and I can animate them. And like,
when did you record it?
November.
Okay. So, and when did you get happy?
While I was doing blocks. So I had to pretend to be sad. So I kind of pretend to be sad. And Derek, the director, was mad that I wasn't sadder. I was like, Jesus, dude. So I had to kind of fake sad. And now this is who I've been the whole, like since I started doing ayahuasca in 2020 and 2021.
How often do you have to do ayahuasca to maintain it?
Well, what happened was I did ayahuasca about 15 times over a year and a half. But it's 7 weekends. It's not like, it's just 7 2-nighters.
Okay.
And
that's not that bad.
Yeah. So it's not.
It's like doing Funny Bones.
That's very funny. And then I did DMT in November 1st, 2021. Broke myself.
Was DMT the one that...
That's the 5-MeO, the gone past God, that thing. Went to before the Big Bang. Not a big deal.
Wait, hold on.
It's fine. Bert, it's fine. I literally went to what Michael Pollan, the writer who wrote How to Change Your Mind, called Before the Big Bang. And it was like, yep, I was there. Wouldn't recommend it, but I'm better for having experienced it, but it's real close. That lasted, I lasted about a year and a half of like, did blocks, recorded it, did all that stuff. And then this year with the MDMA, I think I've done 5. I did it 5 times last year.
Where do you, I'm not saying who's your hookup, but how do you get safe MDMA?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
just trust someone.
Yeah. Leanne. I'm kidding. No, I whatever. I can, it's doable. It's pretty like, doctors can prescribe it now. So, or it's like very close. It's in the 3rd level trial. So, So that's gotten me sort of like happier than I was.
Who's the first person you wanted to forgive? You don't have to say if it's someone that...
Tom. I'm kidding.
Give me the MDMA.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't talk to him every day.
No, I'm like a grudge holder. So it's just people that, and also, you know what else has been interesting is getting more self-esteem and ending relationships.
Whoa.
That's another sort of secret. I did ketamine 6 weeks ago, and the sort of message I received is like, show yourself some respect. And I've been more with that, which is like, I'd like to show myself a little respect, and I'm going to say no to that. And I'm not going to worry about, I'm like, I don't want to do that. So
that's probably even more powerful than anything. There should be the opposite of Tinder, where all your friends show up and it swipes for you. Like you can put in things and it'll be like, actually, you are not good for that person, and that person's not good for you.
Yeah. And it's hard because it's people we work with and stuff, but it's like, it's just like, nah, it doesn't work. It's not equitable. It's not, I think with a friendship, they have to like you within 5% as much as you like them.
Say that again.
5%, it's got to be 50-50. And if it's not exactly 50-50, it's got to be 55-45 at worst.
Oh, within 5% of them liking you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I like everyone more than they like me.
I think that's about right.
I think that's 100% right. I think there are people that I like way more than that tolerate me.
I
think that they have to tolerate me because of our friends.
I'm in the same boat. Like I'm in the same boat, and then I don't know what your defensive monologue is, but mine's like, you motherfucker, I've done and I told someone. I had it with Tom a little bit years ago, where I had told Rock about Tom. I know Chris Rock is Tom's hero.
Yeah. I
tell Rock to watch Tom, and then Tom wouldn't watch Three Mics, and I was like, this cocksucker. I'll fucking kill him. You know what I mean? Like this. So if it's not reciprocal, it's just I try to just phase it out as quickly as possible. Me and Tom we've mended. It wasn't even a mend. Didn't even need mending. It was just like
Chris
an
Rock
example.
is his hero.
I know.
It's so funny too. The time someone needs to find this online. The time you told me about meeting Chris Rock and Chris Rock being like really complimentary. He just played it off like, I mean, that's what happens. Tom's someone who's easy to break. He breaks up with people all the time. He'd give two fucks about a lot of people.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
And that's Tom's got a very healthy self-esteem.
No.
So
very. We talked about someone the other day, and I said that person's name, and he said, "Yeah, I don't really give a fuck about this person, so I don't really care to hear this story." Great. And I went, wow.
You know who's good with that? Bobby Lee.
Really?
Here's what Bobby Lee's good at. I'm bored. Bye.
He's really good at that.
Did it the other night. I can't keep talking about this. Bye. And you don't even begrudge him because you're like, yeah, I wish I had the confidence to do that. So my self-esteem's kicked in, and it's part of what makes me not want to get into the food fight of show business.
Yeah. And
part of me and I don't know what's going to replace it. I don't know, but I don't want to put myself through it for some approval that's never going to come.
God, I wish I had texted you this morning. It's so funny because I had so many conversations that are very adjacent to what we're talking. I was actually saying, it's so fucking stupid that I'd say this. I said, what's your second act going to be, Bert? And I was like, because I feel like I'm stagnant. I feel like I'm doing the same thing I've always done. I don't root for myself anymore. And I was like, I gotta and it's like funny it's like almost really bad example, but like when Coke rebranded Coke,
mm-hmm.
and they're like, you didn't need to rebrand it.
Yeah.
We were having a good time with it.
Yeah.
And I started saying, and will I be comfortable when I'm done shooting when Netflix doesn't ask for a special?
Mm-hmm.
And they will at one point.
Yeah.
How will I be able to what will I do? Am I going to release a YouTube special? Will I do it on Tubi? Will I still do specials? Am I going to be, with an athlete, it's so easy, definable.
Well, you're just worse. You're just getting your ass handed to you.
Yeah.
And it is that thing of, and I've been talking to people about this too, like the Johnny Carson thing of like.
So we're older than anyone that was ever doing stand-up when we were kids.
No, like Cosby and those guys. Bill Cosby at 50.
But he's the anomaly. Like, I mean, we're all 50.
Somebody told me he's like the amount of people that quit between 55 and 60 is staggering. Really? And the reason he was telling me that is because if you don't fly private, you gotta be in group 4 on Southwest and you're 61 and your body hurts. So yeah, Bert, wake up.
How do we make it applicable to the person listening? Because I know that there's probably listening going, you're talking about stand-up, but like, how do you, like, because it's got to be applicable.
Have ethics, have values, and appreciate what you have. That's it. Like, appreciate what you have.
Have values.
Have a work ethic, have decent moral values, and appreciate what you don't even have to have the first two. Just appreciate what you have. That's it.
Yeah. It's
just appreciate what you have. Just straight up. Because all the trapping, you had private jets and were like, I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could wear nicer shit. I had a Rolex at one point. I was like, I don't like having this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, you know what I mean? So like, there's stuff you can have, and if it doesn't suit your personality, you don't have expensive taste. Like, so have appreciation for what you have, and then if you want to throw one in, put some respect on your own name.
Put some respect on your own name.
Yeah. Like, show yourself some respect. Like,
show yourself respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never, like, it's so funny. There's things I never wanted in life and I still don't want. Like, I never want to direct a movie. I don't have the interest in it. It's so overwhelming. When you watch someone direct, it is such a fucking...
I remember what you said about Peter Atencio. This is the most organized, what you said, the most impressive, organized person you've ever met.
And I do not have that brain.
Yeah.
I would like to be a phone-it-in producer.
Yeah.
Shows up on set
non-writing producer. Yeah. You got your name on it. Yeah. You're in
show with a bottle of tequila on Thursday.
Yeah, like we did it, did we? That's
how great are their lives in Hollywood?
That's all anyone wants to be. But you either have to be like just independently wealthy. Yeah. No one respects that person. Is the punchline?
Oh, yeah.
They don't. No one really respects that. But the director doesn't respect that person. The actors are like, hey, yeah, if I can grab my tit. But no one respects him creatively. It's
the end of Shutter Island where he goes, would you rather live your life as a monster? Like, right? When he goes, I'll just get a fucking lobotomy.
I don't remember. You know what's funny? I don't remember Shutter Island like at all. I love Scorsese. I love DiCaprio. I remember seeing it. Couldn't tell you the plot. It's like he's on a mental island and he's imagining something.
Do you have a hard time watching movies as someone who makes movies?
I've kind of stopped.
Really?
I'm not stopped totally, but it's got to be like, I watched Iron Man. That I thought was good.
That's interesting. I didn't think that would be the one you'd say.
Well, in terms of like big movies that have come out, yeah. I watched Iron Man. Like, I like that.
Oppenheimer
I liked. Yep.
Yeah.
Barbie, I was radicalized by. I hated it so much.
I didn't see it.
It's Andrew Tate for women. It's the plot is like, men are stupid. Really? Okay, tell me more. I literally can't even talk about it. But yeah, I'll watch, like, if it's like noisy, I'll watch it.
Do you watch the Oscars and Golden Globes?
No.
No?
No.
I would totally pinned you as someone who
I can't. I don't. It's double. I think the whole thing is stupid.
Really?
Me and Dave presented. They wanted me. I brought him. Kidding. At the Emmys 5 years ago or something, and I did a joke. Everyone in here knows that no amount of award will fill the hole inside your soul, and it killed because it was. I said it funny, but like, Why are we giving prizes to the most beautiful and talented people on earth?
Yeah.
Why? It's like, I'm not going to sit and watch it. It's just humiliating.
My problem with Ferrari was that they didn't make his wife as ugly as she was in real life.
Okay.
I had a problem with that.
Okay.
That's what my wokeism.
Was he uglier than Ferrari?
Nah, I'll take it.
Are you still watching Drive to Survive?
No.
You've stopped.
Yeah.
Did you ever start?
Yeah, I did.
Why'd you stop?
Too many accents. I just couldn't follow it.
Even with the subtitles and even the fact that none of them they're all speaking English.
They all speak English, but it was just too much of that.
It was too much like, hey, they think they're better than me.
Yeah, I can do this.
A lot of vacations at places you didn't understand. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then the whole time I'm like, wait, who's the athlete in him? Oh, him? Oh, he's the driver. Okay.
Little guy?
The little guy?
Yeah.
He's an athlete?
Okay. You'd see the one where you see season 3, episode 9,
No.
Man on Fire?
No.
Best episode of television I've ever seen in my life.
For real?
Season 3. I believe it's episode 7 or 9. Episode title, Man on Fire. It is 2 movies in 1 episode of television. I wish we could watch it now.
Can I watch it? Can I watch it standalone?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because they know what they're doing.
Okay.
It's about 53 minutes, I believe. Same length as Crazy Good on Netflix. And it's such a fucking good television episode. It's insane. So I watch more. But even documentary, everything's kind of wearing off, unfortunately. You know what I mean? It's just age, and you can like notice patterns.
Oh, do you know what I do when I see a movie? There are movies that I see the beginning of, like I'll see the trailer, and I'll just go, I'm just going to read the Wikipedia page and be like, I'm done with the movie. I don't like, there was a movie called, there's a movie about the tsunami in 2012 that I think.
Yeah, fuck those people. Go ahead.
And the movie's the 3 kids and a doctor and her husband are at a beach and the wave overwhelms them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, God, that looks interesting. And I was like, but I don't have the wherewithal to wait to find out if they live.
Do the kids die?
And they all lived. And then I was like, I saw the movie.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Great.
I know the whole story. I do that with every.
Well, look, when you retire, maybe watch this shit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I watched The Gentleman. Have you seen The Gentleman?
No. Good?
Oh, Guy Ritchie's got my number.
Is he still doing all like the freeze frames and the
no freeze frames, but
graphics?
Graphics will show up. But the accent, I'm a sucker for like a.
Oh, the British. My girlfriend's British.
For real? Does your kid have an accent? Oh no, I guess not.
He kind of does, and he calls me Neal, which is like this motherfucker.
Hey, Mom, where's that dirty
Neal?
cunt Neal?
Yeah, it's insane. Then fucking Oliver Twist. And I think my girlfriend may have heard, the reason we met was because I think I was on here, mentioned that I was doing a show in Thailand. She was in Singapore, was vacationing in Thailand, and DM'd me.
On paper, your girlfriend sounds so sexy already. Just on paper.
Yeah.
Do you realize Leanne's adjacent? Leanne's
Go ahead,
adjacent.
we lay paper out and I fuck her.
Leanne's story was she was going to Talladega and found out you were going to be playing where the Mississippi Mudflies play. And she came and saw you there. I'm just making it up.
That's the same version. That's your version of what happened. Yeah.
As soon as I hear Singapore, I go, investor, model, musician.
Therapist.
Yes.
Therapist.
How hard is it to fight with a therapist?
I gotta say, right now, I'm undefeated. Because, listen to this. She hears me and she doesn't go into automatic, well, I'm a woman, so I couldn't be wrong. Again, I just saw Barbie. So she will actually go, I thought about what you said, and I think you're right. And it's a first, maybe in human history.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
a first. And this is how great she is. We got in a fight maybe 6 weeks ago, and she was in the wrong. And she was like, I was thinking about yesterday and I was like, wait, is this how guys feel in relationships? And I was like, yeah, where we're always wrong And she was like, because she's like, I'm used to the guy always fucking up. So all the fingers were pointing away. And now they're pointing at me. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this stinks. I'm gonna, whatever. I'm sure I'll lose for this, but.
I'm in a bad spot with arguments now because back in the day I was drunk. So I knew that I was at fault. And now there's a moment in every argument where I listen. And then I go, hold on, I'm not drunk right now. I have a point.
Yeah.
And that's been the
She's losing.
She's not losing them. She's not losing them, but we're not winning together.
Well, how was it? You would just surrender before?
I would realize I'm very culpable. I'm very accountable, and I'm very self-correcting. And I could, in an argument, we would get into a fight, and I would realize I had been drinking. My emotions must have gotten the best of me in this, and what I'm hearing, she could not be saying. And then one day we got into a fight, and it was actually really not my fault, and in the slightest. And at a certain point, I was like, hold on, I'm stone sober. Like it's actually 10 o'clock in the morning, and this doesn't have to be my day. And then I was like, wait, you have to be accountable in this too. And Leanne is great, but not in the moment. She has to process.
No, yeah,
it.
my girlfriend has to walk away as well.
She can't. I can in the moment go, hey man, I actually fucked up.
Yeah,
I fucked up. I'm wrong, and I love you, and I want to fix this right now. We don't have to. This doesn't have to be our reality. Even in saying that, this one fight we had, I remember her going like, she wasn't done, and she was almost like she wanted to go and punch some pillows and fucking get it out of her system. Even today, we had a misunderstanding, and I had to come back again. We had to come back twice to get through it.
To like restart the argument.
Yeah, because I wasn't wrong, and I knew I wasn't wrong, and I said something. She's listening to this right now, and she's going to go, we're going to get into it all over again.
I love it.
She said, and then I went and I took a shower, and then she came back. She was like, we're on the same team. And I was like, yes.
Well, that's what's interesting. What's your approach? Are you looking to solve problems, or are you looking to win?
Problems. Oh, I don't care about winning. I've never won. I've never won any argument I've ever had with anyone. I always lose. Because in any argument, there's one person who is willing to be wrong, and then sometimes there's some person willing to be right. So I've always noticed this in my life. My dad, when I was a kid, would send me to my room up until I was 17 years old, maybe even 18. Send me to my room, and I had to figure out why I was wrong. Never did my dad ever say, you brought up a good point, buddy. He would be like, you need to figure out why you're wrong.
And I'm not even going to tell you why.
Right. And so I would go to my room, and I would be forced to sit. Anger then turns into, you're not angry anymore, and you're really calm. And then you're like, wait, what the fuck did I do? And then you're like, wait, I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now. You'd be confused. And like the one that I can remember specifically was the Iraq War. I came in real hot about the Iraq War. And my dad was like, you're a fucking idiot. He was like, I don't want to hear a fucking word about what you're saying in our house. Go to your fucking room until you figure out why you're an idiot. And I went to my room.
What was your take?
This war is ridiculous. We shouldn't be invading another country. It was just basically a base hippie view of war is wrong.
Right.
And my dad was like, you don't even know what the fuck's going on over there. So
have you sent him to his room?
No.
Since?
Never.
For being wrong about Iraq?
I will say my dad is undefeated.
Yeah.
My dad is and listen, with my daughters, I am taking L's all the time. I have never once been undefeated with my daughters.
You kind of can't beat your daughters though, right?
No. They fucking every time I'm wrong. Every time I'm wrong, and I got to go realize why I'm wrong. I feel like that in all my relationships. Like I always have to sit and realize, even with people that we know that I've had issues with, I have still to this day, I assess why I'm wrong. I have this weird thing though that happens with me where I feel guilty even when I haven't done it. So like
I feel guilty on the accusation.
On the accusation.
And it's very hard to get rid of. Like sometimes I never get rid of it, which might be a Catholic thing.
Oh, because I got that bad.
Yeah. Like it's hard if the accusation to me is the conviction. And it's hard. Or like joke thief. You ever think you stole a joke and you're like, did I? And then I will actually like put myself in a situation I wasn't in, hearing that person do the joke. And I'm like, I wasn't there.
Joke thievery is like crazy in my head and I've never stolen a joke, but I've felt guilty, especially upon even an accusation.
Yeah, I've thought I've stolen them. Like I've gone like, oh yeah, if you think someone goes, someone's doing a joke like that, and you're like, fuck, I can paint a scenario where I stole it, even though I've never met the person and never heard it and never, like, my Catholic brain just goes like, rip, and does it.
But I do that with friends when we get into a fight, even if they're wrong, they're really hopefully wrong. I still find my accountability in that and go, I need to apologize.
Well, there is the thing of like cleaning up your side of the street. Like that's a 12-step program thing of like, what did I do in this? And I should apologize for it. But most of the time it's like, no, this person just open and shut. This person was wrong. But there are people that if you give them a little apology, they'll be like, yeah. And they'll use it. They'll build a case.
Those are the only people I can't apologize to.
The people that you can?
That I know I can't apologize. I can't apologize to them because I know they'll thought they have won.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was one person in particular where I was like, I can never give this person an inch because the second I do, no matter how sorry they say they are, they will go, I knew it was right.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck. There should be an app where helps you break up with your friends.
Absolutely. And somebody, a friend of mine said, like, people think they can't break up with your friends. Like, people get divorced with kids. You can break up with your friends. It's fine. You'll figure it out. It won't even be awkward. Even when you see each other and you're just like, hey, you know.
How do you feel about Stoicism?
I live very stoic. I mean, depression is a form of stoicism. But you could also say that me saying we don't have real problems is stoicism. It's not. It's like luxury stoicism. But I'm not. I know a little bit, but it just seems like kind of what we're saying of getting with that cortisol thing of like not believing my thoughts. Not believing my thoughts are like, this is me thinking this.
Yeah.
Because there's also that Eckhart Tolle thing, which was actually very helpful last year reading with the MDMA and all that stuff of like, you are the observer of the negative thought. So you think it's you, but the you is the person that sees it and occupying that thing, which is purely spiritual. And it's not, you don't believe good or bad. So it's kind of Buddhism. It's kind of Stoicism, I think.
It's like people who are afraid of sharks versus people who don't think about sharks.
Yeah. So with all that stuff, I'm just trying to get less tied into everything and less governed by like impulse and emotion and bad feeling. It's just like a little bit of distance, and all those drugs have helped. And gratitude checklist.
What does your algorithm look like when you scroll Instagram? What are the things that show
once up? I got a girlfriend, I don't even have it because there was no point in me being on social media other than hoping women would hit on me.
Really?
There was 0 point. It would just spin me out. And now I have a guy post stuff for me, gets the same amount of hits. I don't think about it. I don't know about it. Sometimes I'll download it to post about like Brian Simpson special, which I thought was great.
Great.
And
his 9/11 joke is it's fucking such a great joke.
Brian's really got a great brain.
He's really intelligent.
Yeah, he's just got a great brain, and it's like he's just an original thinker, and it's like just keep doing that.
Original thinker is the thing. Original thinker, to touch very lightly on Chappelle, is his brain is actually beautiful. Like the way he thinks is so beautiful.
He's done things that are not possible. I've literally seen him do things like joke-wise that are like, I thought about it 3 hours ago. Just, I don't even know what I was doing, driving. Like I've seen him do things that are not humanly possible. Yeah. I can't even give you an example, but he just doesn't even. There was a joke I wish I'd done at the Mark Twain thing, which is when mushrooms want to have fun, they do Dave Chappelle. Like that's literally what it's not you can't get there.
Yeah.
You can't get there.
Those brilliant brains. Brian Simpson's got a really brilliant brain.
Yeah.
Just a really brilliant, like he thinks it doesn't have to be.
It's linear thinking. He can think in an organized way. Dave's is non-linear.
Yeah.
Patrice was non-linear. Patrice was like linear. but there's certain, Simpson reminds me of Patrice in a lot of like where he'll say something, what? And then you're like, what? And then he'll explain it. Or like Ian Edwards, where you're like, oh, fuck, that's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I only use black metaphors. Kidding. But yeah, like his brain is, like I'm like literally the last person you need to tell me about Dave's brain where I'm like, no, I know about
I can't
his brain.
imagine.
Yeah, like I've seen him.
Was he always like that?
I was telling David Allen Greer did my podcast today. I was telling Dave had a joke in high school that Alf is lucky that he landed in a white neighborhood, because if Alf had landed in a black neighborhood, 2 weeks later, you would have seen brothers wearing Alf skin coats. That's a very funny joke for a 16-year-old.
He had a joke. I told him this, that I think about almost all the time. It defines who I am. There's one joke that I don't think that he goes, do you remember when you went to first grade and you felt like everyone knew each other already? I was like, that's how I feel all the time.
Yeah.
That's me. I always feel like, did all these people grow up together? Everywhere.
Yeah.
When I got into comedy, when I go to anywhere, I always feel like everyone knows each other and I'm always the outsider going in.
Yeah. And that's what he's just incredibly good at, like first person and just ideas he has about how to do comedy, and like when he's young, like new shit that I'd be impressed if somebody told me that now.
Yeah.
So when it was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Bert, I think we did a good one.
I think so, buddy.
And
hey, I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
Like I've known you a long time.
Yeah.
I've always loved you. But like to see this special, it gives me hope for like people. Because I go, it's so bright, it's so full of life, and it's so thick with jokes. I mean, it's so funny. It's so funny. It's inspiring. I watched it. I watched 43 minutes of it, and then I said I'm gonna make Leanne breakfast, and Pete, my assistant, was we were crying. Me, Leanne, and Pete were crying watching it. I'm like, well, I got to make breakfast. I got to get over. I have an interview to do. 43 minutes. I turn it off. I get done the interview, and Pete comes up and he goes, "You want to watch the rest of the special?" I said, "Well, I know enough about it." And he went, "Hold on, you didn't watch the best part." I said, "What's the best part?" And he goes, "The last like 10 minutes." And I went, "Well, you mean the rest of the special?" And he goes, "It's the best." I said, "Really?" And he played the last 10 minutes of your special talking about sex and Uber.
I'm one of the few comedians brave enough to close with sex jokes.
And Pete was standing in that hallway with his computer like this. Hold on. Watch this. That's a testament to a great special. When you say to someone, "Hold on, come here." And we stood in that hallway and watched it on his computer holding it. And he was crying, fucking laughing. And I was like, God damn it. This is such a good fucking special.
Great.
Top to bottom, no fucking misses, fucking brave as fuck. And
I have a good, there's a sex joke about having sex with women. Here's a great compliment. Gerard said it's going to help him with gay sex. What do you want?
Wait.
Gerard Carmichael said it's applicable to gay sex also.
Can I tell you the better way to hear what you just said?
Go.
Is to think you said charade.
Sherrod Small.
Said it would help him with gay sex. And I went, wow.
Wow. There's
That's
number two.
Fucking
our second gay guy.
Well, we've added all the gay comics.
Yep.
Buddy, I love you to death.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Great. Thanks, awesome. Buddy. Good to see you.